In this video, we're going to create an APA key. A key is what grants an external system permission to access your Qamaq and perform an action without anyone having to log in manually. So, what can it do within the system? What that system is allowed to do is entirely up to you at the moment you create the key. Today, we'll use it for the functionality that's already available, running a process. That's the example we'll be working with. Here's the example. We're a law firm, and inquiries come in through our website's contact form all day long. Someone has to read them, understand what they're about, and send them to the right partner. That work is already handled here, inside a process. What we want now is for our website to trigger it automatically the moment an inquiry comes in, without anyone opening Qamaq or copying and pasting anything. But for that, two things are required, and we're going to prepare them one by one. A process that you've granted permission to receive external calls, because by default none have it, and the key, which identifies your application and tells it what it's allowed to do. We'll make the actual call in the next video. Here, we'll get both pieces ready. Let's start with the process, because the key alone won't open anything if there's nothing open on the other side. This is ours, and it's about as simple as they get. It starts, reads the incoming query, classifies it, and ends. That's all it does. And this is its data structure, which is where the process declares what it works with. It's a single list containing the name and the field type, and the two middle columns, in and out, tell you which is which. The ones marked in are the ones the process expects to receive, and the one marked out is what it returns. It's worth pausing here, because these names stop being an internal matter the moment you open the process to the world. They become the contract. Whoever calls you from the outside will have to send you exactly these fields, written the same way. In other words, your process's data structure is also the shape of your API. That's why, if tomorrow you change the name of a field internally, you've also changed it for whoever is calling you. Let's open it up. This is done within the process editor. First, check the status. It must be set to active. This isn't required for the API itself. It's to ensure the process remains a normal process in your account, visible and selectable for your team. And here is what we came looking for. Allow external API access. It's turned off on purpose so that none of your processes are exposed by accident. You turn it on. A second field appears. External slug. This is the name your application will use to request this process from the outside. Notice the requirements: lowercase letters, numbers, hyphens, and underscores. It must also be unique within your organization. Keep one thing in mind. This is a separate name, not the process itself or its internal identifier. You choose it, and it stays the same even if the process is renamed or new versions are released. A fair question comes up here. If the slug points to the process and not to a specific version, which version actually runs? The one you have active. That's why the notice on the screen also asks for a published version. The caller only needs to send the slug, nothing more. They have no way to request a specific version. You're the one who chooses in here. And that helps you more than it might seem. The day you publish a new version and activate it, your external application starts using it automatically without anyone touching a single line of code. To finalize this part, we save by clicking the Save button. Let's create the key. You'll find it under Configurations in the Miscellaneous submenu, where you'll access Qamaq API access. Before creating anything, look up here, because all three developer details you'll need are displayed, so you won't have to search for them anywhere. The API address authentication uses a token starting with QMQO, and how many calls per minute your keys allow by default. Below, you'll find the list of keys for your organization. You may notice keys that you didn't create, with names containing MCP. Don't worry, those are generated automatically by Qamaq when you connect one of its integrations. They belong to other components, so we won't be touching them. Let's create ours by clicking the Create API Key button. The first thing it asks for is a name. Here's a tip that will help you the day you have 20 of them. The name shouldn't describe what the key does. It should describe who holds it. Ours will be used by the form on our website, so we'll name it accordingly. The MCP ones we just saw follow that same criteria. And why does the name matter so much? Because the day you need to disable a key, the name is the only thing that will tell you what will break if you turn it off. Don't cram the details into the name. That's exactly what the description field is for. There, you can write what the key does, who requested it, and which system uses it. Under Environment, you can mark it as Production, Development, or Test. This is simply a label for your organization. It does not change the behavior of the key. The criterion is simple. Choose the one that corresponds to the system that will use it. Ours will be used on the actual live website, so we will set it as Production. In the expiration field, you can either set an expiration date or leave it without one. For this example, we'll leave it without an expiration date. And here is the part that truly decides what this key can do. Permission scopes. A key doesn't give you access to everything. It only grants access to what you specify, and nothing more. If your integration only needs to run a process, don't give it any more permissions than that. For what we're doing here, we'll check Run Processes under the Processes category. With that, this key can run the processes you've exposed externally, and it cannot access anything else in your account. Further down, you'll find the IP allow list, which is optional. If you leave it empty, the key can be used from anywhere. If you know exactly which server your application will be calling from, adding it here provides an additional layer of security. Let's create it. And here is the key, right at the top, highlighted in green. Read the notice carefully because it's not just for decoration. Copy it now. You will not be able to see it again. Use the copy button and save it wherever you plan to use it. Only then do you confirm it, where it says, "I've saved this key." It won't show it again, not even to you. If you lose it, it's not the end of the world. In the Actions column, you have a Rotate button that revokes this key and creates a new one with the same permissions, so you don't have to set everything up again. However, the key you lost cannot be recovered. Take a look at the row that was added to the list. For security, only the beginning of the key is displayed. There you can see the name we assigned, the description below it, the environment, and the permission. In the table, it appears written in the format a developer would use. It matches exactly what we just configured. And with that, you now have both pieces in place. Before you go, 2 ways this can fail, so you recognize them when they happen. If the process doesn't have a published and active version, your call will respond that the process does not exist, even if you can see it right there on your screen, and even if you gave it its slug. Likewise, if the API key doesn't have the permission to run processes enabled, the call will be rejected, even if the process itself is flawless. It's both or neither. In the next video, we use them and make the actual call.